A couple of weeks ago, I made a video talking about whether or not Valorant is a dead game. It was controversial to say the least, but it was really interesting to read your guys' feedback on the topic, so I wanted to do the same thing again with another game, Overwatch. People love to hate this game for reasons beyond me, which is fine. This isn't everyone's cup of tea, but this is another one of those games that people call dead game despite the numbers saying otherwise. For those that don't know what Overwatch is, it's a 6v6 MOBA FPS hybrid where players complete objectives using different heroes and different roles to win the game. The game released back in 2015 and has since then remained one of the most popular video games to this day, along with becoming one of the first esports to have its own independent league representing city-based teams. It was also revealed that the game still maintained over 10 million registered users across all platforms, including the most recent Nintendo Switch release. In my eyes, that's pretty good for a 6-year-old game. So why are people calling this a dead game if there are still 10 million players playing the game monthly? I believe it all comes down to one thing that makes each hero in the game unique, and that is the roles. There are 3 roles in the game: tank, DPS, and support. The tanks are your frontline guys. They may not have the best offensive utility, but they usually have some kind of shield and a ton of health. The DPS are the guys that do a lot of damage. They have all of the offensive utilities such as pistols, rifles, shotguns, machine guns, laser beams, freeze guns, etc. They usually don't have a lot of health, so they stay behind the tanks. The supports are the guys that do a lot of healing and damage boosts. They usually keep their distance from the action and focus on keeping themselves and their teammates alive. You don't always have to play exactly like this, but this is the general idea for each role. These roles exist to help players find out what they're good at, but the reason why these roles are a problem is because of today's gamers. I'm pretty much going to say what I said in my last video, the Valorant Dead Game video, but it really does come down to the general gaming audience. Today's gamers want something easy to pick up with enough action to give them an adrenaline rush every time they play the game. They're also most likely coming from other FPS games such as Call of Duty or Halo, so what role is going to attract them the most? The DPS role. If you've been playing Overwatch since the beginning of role queue, you would begin to realize that the DPS role has the highest queue time since everyone wants to be a DPS. And why wouldn't they? Me describing the tank and support roles to new players make it sound boring. Why would they want to sit in front holding a shield or stay back and heal their teammates when they could play a cyborg ninja that could zip around and deflect bullets, or a Chad cowboy that has literal aimbot? I personally suck at the DPS role. It's actually my worst role out of the 3. Aiming is a strong requirement for any DPS hero, and it's the one thing I'm not good at. However, I absolutely love the tank role. It doesn't require that much aim skill, but more map awareness and ability management, which is what I'm good at. Even the support roles don't require god tier aiming. All you really need to do is keep your team alive and use your abilities to help your team win fights. You can still fight and win battles as a tank and support, but it's usually the DPS that should be doing that the most. Today's gamers aren't very open-minded. Even if the game tells them that they're garbage at the DPS role, they're probably going to only queue for DPS anyway since it's the shoot 'em up role and the other roles are too boring for them. Another issue with today's gamers with Overwatch specifically is that they don't like teamwork. Most people just want to click heads, cut people up, or get as many kills as they can on the kill feed. They could care less about what their teammates are doing as long as they're getting the kills. From the wise words of the War Owl himself, specifically on Overwatch, the biggest problem with the game is that it takes teamwork to pull anything off, but caters to a casual audience that isn't really interested in teamwork. And since these DPS wannabes are ditching their team to do whatever, everyone loses. And when everyone loses, the game is no longer fun. And when the game is no longer fun, it's a dead game. I'm sorry to tell you this, but just because the game doesn't cater to you specifically, it doesn't make it a dead game. Are there issues with the game? Yeah, all games do, but most of those issues can be fixed with updates. The game itself is doing perfectly fine with I don't know if you want to call it a sequel, Overwatch 2. I'm going to call it a sequel because it has the 2 on it, with a sequel coming out sometime next year. So the next time someone tells me Overwatch is dead, here's my reaction. Anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. What are you guys' thoughts on Overwatch? Let me know down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I will talk to you all later.